Hey, fellow business owners out there, how do you feel when someone says no, when you invite them just to take a look at what it is that you're doing? Have you ever responded to the word no, or let me think about it, or not right now, in a way that made you feel really weird? And they certainly thought it was weird, and now they're never going to look at whatever it is that you're doing. Stick around. In this video, I'm going to show you how to not be so weird when someone doesn't want to get into your deal or even look at it, or they want to think about it. I'm going to share with you something that's going to help you feel very good, which is going to dramatically affect your vibration with whoever that you're talking to, which is going to lead to a better outcome. Maybe not necessarily a yes, but their curiosity might be piqued, and you're going to feel good instead of icky and weird about it. And this is also going to help you talk to the next person and the person after that and the person after that, because if you stop inviting people and talking to new people, then your business is dead. It will never grow. And if you are weird to people, then you're probably only going to do this for so long until you can't take it anymore, and then it's over. So stick around. Here's what it is. When you're inviting somebody into your deal, or even just to look at it, there's a big difference. When I'm out there inviting people, I'm not inviting them into it. I'm inviting them to look at it, to see if it's something that they'd even want to do. In my opinion, it's more respectful to people as free-thinking human beings. And you want to be treated as a free-thinking person. You want to be honored for whatever your decisions are. So you have to treat others, it goes back to the golden rule, treat others the way that you'd like to be treated. So for that reason right there, I mean, this will preemptively solve, the weirdness thing, so that the weirdness stuff is less likely to even happen down the road. So an invitation is like, it's a peak interest question. It could look something like this, like, hey, Billy Joe Bob, I've got this thing that I'm doing, and if you'd like to take a look at it, you might be interested, you might not. No big deal either way. But if you got any openness, let me know. I'll shoot you an email. You can watch a little video I made to see if you'd even want to look further into it. And it could look, there's so many different variations it could take, but that's the gist of it. That's all it is. Pretty simple, right? So that alone is not weird, because that's not how most people who have a business invite people. It's more like, hey, look at my opportunity, ground floor, make a lot of money, get in this way, you can get discounts, and I want to do this with, whatever. You've all heard it before, all those little buzzwords, those key phrases that raises resistance. So right off the bat, it's weird. So this way of piquing somebody's curiosity and honoring them as a free thinker right off the bat is different. And you're going to get a lot more people that's going to say, okay, sure, I'll take a look at it. Why not? Pretty cool deal. All right, so the next part after that, we haven't even gotten to the no yet. So you're going through your invitation process, and at some point, it's time to come to a decision, and they say no, or they say maybe, or they say not right now, kind of a bad time. So what do you do when you hear that? Right off the bat, when somebody says no, a lot of times it's actually their way of defending themselves against a sales pitch, right? Even though they're not going to tell you that, and we don't know who's thinking that and who isn't, so we still want to not assume and honor as free thinkers, but just so you know, there's going to be a number of people that are going to say something. It could be a no, it could be whatever, just as a means of defending themselves against a sales pitch that they feel is about to come over them. Just so you know about that. So when they say no, and you come back at them with trying to convince them and change their mind, that's when, the red flags are really going to go off in their brain. This is when it gets weird. This is what a lot of people do, and it's really sad. And I don't want you to be one of those people. So when someone says no, you don't dishonor them as a free-thinking person. You want to honor their decision. Okay, cool. It's not for you. Totally cool. Well, listen, if you like the way that I invited you, and you know some people who might like to know about what it is that I'm doing to help people do this or that, fill in the blank, if you want to introduce me to them, I'd love to meet them. I will invite them the same way I invited you. I'll treat them with the same respect that I treated you. And I have found that when I go for the referral from a no, because of the way that I invited them was not weird, but honoring, they're like, okay, cool, I think I know some people. And then I get referrals. Otherwise, if the invitation process is weird, they're not going to give you names of people that they know, because then it's just going to make them look bad, because then you're going to make them feel weird, just like you made that person feel weird. So it's really important that you pique people's interest and honor them as free-thinking human beings, and a lot of time the weird factor will never really even have a chance to come up. It's really cool. All right, so if someone says, I don't know, let me think about it, now is not a right time, or whatever, it's like, okay, cool, no problem. When you're ready on your own time, I'm ready for you. By the way, is there something else I could show you to give you more information so that you can come to the decision that works best for you, and whether you decide you want to do this or you don't, I'm sure it's the perfect decision. And then at that point they're like, oh, okay, well yeah, I would like to know about this, maybe it's the comp plan, maybe it's who knows what it is. And then that gives you a chance to keep engaging them and keep giving them really great information and value stacking in a way that's relevant to whatever it is that's important to them, right? And then you just increase your likelihood that, yeah, they're probably going to do this with you because it solves a problem, a need, fulfills a desire that they have, whatever that is. So you got to ask some really great questions about what it is that's important to them, why they're curious at looking, what it would mean for them to accomplish X, Y, Z, and then you can share more information with them in a way that's relevant to whatever it is that's important to them. And that will help you appear to be less weird. You'll start to look like a problem solver rather than a salesperson. Because now, instead of trying to sell them and persuade and convince and all these things and change their mind, you are relating to them in a way that solves a problem. There's a big difference. That's not weird at all. That is like, oh, this person is helpful. This is pretty valuable. So you increase the odds that something really good is going to happen, and it's all organic and it's beautiful, it's meaningful. All right, another response that you're going to get is the no response. And this one is going to be a pretty common one that you get because a lot of times, people are so jaded because they've been so bombarded by people, amateurs doing this completely wrong, that even a pique interest question is something totally friendly like, hey, I just started this thing. If you got any openness to looking at it, I'll shoot you a video. If you do, great. If not, no big deal. Hope you're doing awesome. Let me know. Whatever it is, something super friendly like that, a lot of people will still be like, I don't know. And then they don't write back. But a lot of people do write back to that one, just so you know. The ones that people don't write back to a lot, the ones that we've all heard before, the ground floor opportunity, make a lot of money, and all these kinds of things. You'll hardly get anyone back from that one except, leave me alone, take me off your list. But at least the pique interest ones that I do, you're going to get a lot of responses, and it's a good thing. But further down the road, once people see the video or the presentation in whatever format that you're sharing it with them, you're going to get a lot of people that are eventually going to drop off, and they won't write back. And you got to understand something. A lot of that is because they may feel a sales pitch coming on because they just saw this presentation, and it may be similar to other presentations they've seen, and they're thinking to themselves, oh, well, this isn't for me, and I'm not going to write back and say as much because I don't feel like dealing with a sales pitch or having somebody try to change my mind, right? So they don't write back. And that's just the reality of it. So what I do for people that don't write back, I just write back very non-assuming, and I actually take the business aspect out of it. I just write back and say, hey, I got you back a couple of days ago. Did you have a chance to watch the video? And then that's pretty much all I'll say. And then the follow-up after that, if they still haven't written back, so maybe 1 or 2 days after that, hey, I wrote you back a couple times, just let me know that you're okay. And that's about all I will say. Because I don't know. How do I know? They could have had some kind of terrible car accident and they're laid up in a hospital. I don't know. And if I want to follow up one more time after that, because I don't want to assume here, I don't know what's going on, but one last time following up, because I want to spend most of my time talking to new people, not following up with the same people over and over again, but there's still a fortune in the follow-up. One last time I will say, hey, I wrote you back a few times. I don't know if you're super duper busy and you just don't have time, which is fine, or I've said or done something that's terribly upset or offended you. Can you do me a favor and let me know it's not the latter? And also, whether you're into this or not, just let me know that you're okay, because for all I know, you could be laid up in a hospital somewhere and I have no idea. So please let me know. Thanks. And that's all I will send to them. That is the very last follow-up, if I even follow up that many times. So 2 or 3 follow-ups is all I give somebody if they're not writing me back at all. And at that point, it's done. It's over. I have no idea what's going on with that person. I don't know if they're blowing me off, but usually by that last follow-up, they're writing me back most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. So that's how I also keep myself in a mode of talking to new people most of the time. 80% of your time you should be talking to new people. If you're spending most of your time following up with people, then you need to shift that. Follow-up should be maybe 10% of your time, maybe 15%, but 80% of your time should be talking to new people, just so you know. If you want to be profitable, that is. If you don't want to be profitable, then chase around the same people all the time and you won't be profitable. And one last tip I'm going to give you, which is actually pretty huge, so you might want to write this one down if you haven't started writing yet. Heck, I'd go back and watch this video all over again and take notes. But when somebody says no, just flat out, no, not interested, write their name down anyway for follow-up for, say, I don't know, a month or two from now, or it could be a couple weeks. But basically, your follow-up is going to be dictated by what's happening in your organization. So you're going to follow up with an update of somebody that did something really cool. So let's say you've, I don't know, let's say a single stay-at-home mom said no. I don't know why she would say no, but typical reason might be she doesn't feel that she has the time to do this or whatever. But let's say, a single stay-at-home mom said no. Now, let's say you've enrolled, or somebody even in your team has enrolled a single stay-at-home mom, and she blows it up like the first week or the first month or whatever. Okay, now you've got something you can update this person with that said no, something that's relatable to them because they're in similar circumstances. And it could be something like, hey, remember that thing I invited you to last month to take a look at? Listen, I know it's not a fit for you, but I just enrolled, or somebody in my team just enrolled this single stay-at-home mom, and she made her first $500 the first couple weeks, and now she can afford, I don't know, whatever for her kids. And I was just curious if you knew other single stay-at-home moms that would like to know what's going on in my team for single stay-at-home moms to help them create more money for their families. If you know of anybody like that, please let me know. I'd love to talk to them. So you see what's going on there? Now she's right off the bat, this person would be, because she already said no, she's expecting you to say, hey, remember that thing I invited you to? Well, I want to see if you're ready or if you changed your mind or whatever. That's what they're expecting. And that would be kind of weird because you told them no. So what you're doing is you're going for those referrals. You're updating them and you're going for a referral. But at the same time, you're also possibly re-piquing their interest if their interest was piqued in the first place. And if it wasn't piqued in the first place, well, maybe you're piquing their interest for the first time for real. I don't know. Either way, you're still honoring them as a free-thinking human being, and you're also appealing to their sense of they want to help their friends out. Maybe they've got friends who are in similar situations, and okay, well, you're helping somebody else solve that problem, or your team is helping somebody else solve that problem, or fund a dream, or whatever. So if they have a spirit of wanting to help people out, their friends, you might get some referrals from that. And at the same time, she might turn around and say, well, I might be interested. That sounds really cool, and that person is in a similar situation as me. And that's just one example. Say a realtor said no, and a realtor gets in, and they're all pumped up and excited, and they get their first check. Who knows what it is? Or maybe you personally did something really cool that you can update them with. Like you want a vacation, or you had your first $1,000 week, or your first $100 week, or whatever it is. You can update them with anything you want. All those people that said no, just go back, update that with them, and go for the referral. And you will probably surprise them because they are used to the amateurs that reach back out to them and try to change their mind after they already said no. But you're going to be a breath of fresh air. So I hope that makes a lot of sense for you. That's going to differentiate you from probably 90-something% of all other home business owners out there. So run with that. Use it as an opportunity to show people that you are a breath of fresh air. I do it as often as I can. The best way to do that is to do the daily core of activities, those vital behaviors every day. And that's basically you're talking to new people every day, and you're also inviting people to look at your deal every single day. You're doing your personal development every day, and you're creating and sharing attractive content on social media. You do those 4 things every day, you're always going to have people to follow up with. You're always going to have activity happening in your business. You're always going to have people watching the presentation. And you're even going to have somebody enroll with you now and then, maybe a few times a week as you get better at it, a few times a month at first, a few times a week as you get better. it's a really cool deal. But it all starts with being faithful consistently every day with those daily core of activities. And that's going to conclude this video. I hope you've enjoyed the background. It's the first time I've had that neat little poster of the guitar and the ancient tea set. So I hope you guys, antique tea set, I hope you enjoyed that, just to add a little background to the video. But go to my website, tombirkenmeyer.com. I know a lot of stuff. I've been doing this for a while. I've discovered a lot of things that don't work and a lot of things that do work. So if that can help you get to where you want to be faster than if you didn't know ahead of time what doesn't work, and you didn't know ahead of time what does work, imagine you start making those discoveries early on, or wherever it is that you are right now. I bet you could create a nice shortcut that takes years off of your efforts, and maybe even thousands of dollars worth of whatever off of your effort as well. So enjoy that, tombirkenmeyer.com. Cherry pick around, dig whatever makes sense for you with where you're at right now in your career to help bring you to the next level. And then tell me all about it, because I love those success stories. I love, love, love it. And I love sharing them, so long as you give me permission to share your success story that you're going to create. And if you'd like, I will share it. I'll put it out there into the world. It'll be beautiful. I've also got a video sharing course for those of you that are into video vlogging. It's very powerful to create videos. Oh, they're so amazing for so many different reasons. And I've also got an ebook that I entitled very accurately and appropriately so. It's called Broke to Financially Free on Facebook. It's basically how I made my first $100,000 for free on Facebook. And what I mean by free is I didn't spend any money on advertising. Nothing at all. So it was my first 100K and so much more since then. And you can do it too, no matter where you're at right now. Enjoy that, and I will see you guys again real soon. I've always got another video coming soon. I'm consistent, and that's a huge difference maker. Most people aren't consistent. So be consistent. Follow that example with consistently in action as well as personal development, so that your action gets better and brings you more results. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.